This is to do with the order that came to the fore on July 3rd, 2025, where the Indian government had ordered social media platform X to block over 2,000 accounts in India, including international news outlets like Reuters and Reuters World. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology demanded immediate action within 1 hour without providing justification and required that the accounts remain blocked until further notice. We're given to understand that there was public outcry after that, after which government requested the social media platform X to unblock Reuters and Reuters World. But that now has triggered a political face-off with the Congress and others within the opposition ranks questioning the government's move. Pallavi now joins us, getting us more details on this. Pallavi, if you could take our viewers through what exactly first the order was and why the government went back on it, and then we'll talk about the politics.
So there were 3 accounts. One is, of course, the global news account, and then there was the one which is the TRT, and there was Reuters. All 3 of those accounts were withheld on Twitter. At that point of time, the government had come out with an official spokesperson statement, and I'm just quickly quoting from there. There is no requirement for the government of India to withhold Global Times News or TT World handle. We are continuously working with the X to resolve the problem, and it should be restored soon. And it was by late midnight when the accounts were restored. What essentially government was saying is that there was no petition or no request which had gone in from the MeitY or the IT ministry side to ensure that these accounts were blocked. Now, this certainly comes as a huge setback or embarrassment, because there is this narrative which is now being pushed even as we wait for a response coming in from the ministry sources. The opposition parties have jumped in. The global news has also jumped in, and they're accusing the government of trying to curtail freedom of expression. What the Congress specifically is saying is that once again, the lie of the government has been busted. Why do they need to hide facts? Why do they need to lie when the facts were to the contrary? So we'll have to wait to see what is it that the government really has to say it now. But till now, Poonam, the government has been maintaining that they've never asked for any accounts to be blocked.
Now, this follows in a series of actions, Pallavi, that the government has taken, including several accounts that were blocked, specifically that originated from Pakistan or from China for the kind of misinformation that was being put out in the last 2 months following Operation Sindoor and the action that took after that. Was this one of those steps that was taken by the government? Is there any clarity on that bit at least?
Yes, there is also the fact also remains is that, remember, just after Operation Sindoor, there was a lot of fake propaganda which was being peddled on many of those platforms, whether they were YouTube accounts, whether there was a social media handles. It is then that the government had wanted to bust a fake propaganda because, of course, it was hurting our national interest when those requests had gone. Now, the confusion and the grey area over here is that was this withholding of the accounts a late response to what was requested earlier, or something more had happened? Well, what ministry sources have been telling us is nothing new. It was not a new request which had come in. Possibly it was the earlier request which was now being implemented. However, the fact that just 2 to 3 days back, MeitY sources had made the point that we had not made any such requests and they would be restored soon. And today you have this kind of a response coming in from Global Affairs. It doesn't augur very well, and it clearly gives an ammunition to the opposition parties in this case.
Right, Pallavi, do stay on with us. UBT Sena's Priyanka Chaturvedi now joins us on this broadcast. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Your first response to the fact that the government first decided to block these accounts without any notice, and now that has been rescinded. Ms. Chaturvedi?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, absolutely, in an unplanned, immature manner, which is absolutely cringeworthy. And for MeitY to behave like some kind of a dictatorial behavior, when to switch on some account and switch off some account, and then also have a hands-off approach that they had an approach, Twitter to block these handles. It's actually looking at India from a perspective of not being able to have a policy with regards to handling social media and digital platforms. So I think MeitY really needs to get its act together. And there should be some kind of accountability coming, and also believing that any account which is critical of India is antithetical to India and anti-national is also another area which makes us look like a sensitive democracy, which we definitely aren't.
So do you feel the way to put an end to this is that a clarification should come from the minister concerned, or at least from somebody within the government, of why exactly this was done? Because there are several of these international media organizations that were involved in this.
So again, I'll just say one thing. If any international media organization is indulging in spreading a narrative, it is well within our rights to call them out. It can be METI, it could be information broadcasting, it could be the MEA. They can definitely call them out, and we have enough and more handles to expose such narratives. But to ask for a ban, and I think METI needs to be held accountable. They need to come out and clarify what was their ask from Twitter. Why was it asked for? Why were these accounts, international media accounts, asked to be put on hold or restricted in India? And we must understand one more thing. The restriction is applicable only to India and Indian citizens residing and people residing in India. That does not take away anybody who's using a VPN network or people abroad. So the version that they don't want India to read, the world is reading. So again, like I said, they need to come and clarify what is their stance with regards to blocking accounts, and then again unblocking these accounts. We saw this with Pakistan. We are now seeing this with these international media accounts. So I think it is a knee-jerk reaction to everything that is critical, which criticizes India or has a point of view which doesn't go along with the interests of the government of India.
Priyanka Chaturvedi, thank you so much for speaking with us. You're on CNN News 18. Pallavi, this controversy is going to blow up now, and there are answers that are being demanded of the government. Could we expect a clarification from the ministry or the minister concerned?
That's what we are being told. There's a possibility of a statement which is now being drafted in response to a latest allegation. But the government has always maintained the stand that we do not believe in curtailing freedom of expression. The only time we would do so is in case it goes against our national interest and security. So when India has asked for the removal of or banning of certain social media accounts of our Pakistani actors, or whether it comes in some YouTube accounts which are being blocked, it's only and only on the grounds of protecting our national interest. Well, in this case, what is happening is that we'll need to have some clarity coming in from the ministry that if the blocking of the handles did take place only because of an earlier complaint and there was a delay in implementing it, and which came at a wrong time. Because we also noticed the day when these issues were being raised, the same night around 11 o'clock as we had reported, these handles, all these 3 handles were restored. So we are now waiting for some kind of a clarification or a statement to come in from METI.
Right, Pallavi, do keep a track of that. But for the moment, thank you so much for getting us the latest.